Hey everybody, Glenn Hausman with Evan Hurd of RobertDouglas here. I'd like to thank the good folks at ZEL Capital Partners for being such great, partners. You know them, the sales-leaseback guys. Check ZELCapitalPartners.com. Think about your investments going forward. Evan, we're here at the NYU Hospitality Investment Conference.
Exciting.
I'm getting tired of hearing the same old stuff overall, though, right? And not the fault of the conference, just the market seems to be in this weird kind of state. What are you hearing here today? What do you want to hear today, and where are we going?
I appreciate that. I think we're hearing a lot of the same things over and over. Operations are great, capital markets are brutal, deals are tough. I think coming out of this, would love to hear the dam is getting close to breaking. I think from my perspective, I think sellers are starting to get there as far as these interest rates may not be going away. They might stay high for a while, and so everything's kind of situational.
Right.
But where we're spending our time, we're looking for stuff that when transactions are going to happen, right?
So one of the things that I'm trying to get out there, tell the universe about is, you say interest rates are high, but historically speaking, they haven't necessarily been like that, right?
Yeah.
So it's, I had a conversation earlier that younger people have no real recollection of when they were higher and stuff like that. So for them, So for them, the market dynamics are very different today than they used to be, right?
Yeah.
So where's the opportunity then right now? Because what I keep hearing, and now I'm on like 28 years on this, and the phrase I've heard most after in this, referring to the cycle of what inning of baseball are we in compared to the cycle, the other big thing that I always hear all the time is there's money sitting on the sidelines.
Yeah,
my whole career. Is that money ever getting off the sidelines?
I know, it's a big bench.
If it wasn't then, why not now? And if not now, why not later on? What's the deal?
Look, I would say this. I think as far as places with opportunity, stuff like, I think urban markets are interesting right now, a little bit of a contrarian. Like if you think about...
No, but let's pause right there for a second, because urban markets were the devil, right? Starting at the beginning of COVID, it's like, no one's ever going to go to cities again.
Yeah. Please
continue.
Yeah, so like recency bias, right? Everything that's been super hot, like anything we do in Florida, that seems to be defying gravity. Resorts are insane. Are you a basketball fan? You watch basketball?
No.
Okay, well, I was going to say recency bias, if you look at Denver Nuggets blew out the Heat game 1, everyone thinks the Heat are going to suck game 2. They come back, they cover, they win. Anyways, I think that could be resorts, could be like the Miami, the Denver Nuggets, and urban could be Miami Heat. Those may be a stretch.
All right, so let me translate that to something I would understand.
Go ahead.
It's like when I go to 4 fish shows in a row, and the first one's a little bit soft, and then the second one's a banger.
Yes.
All right, I get it.
That's it. That's like, recency bias, tonight's going to suck too, and then all of a sudden they come back and it's awesome, right? So that could be urban, yes. Well done. So like convention markets in particular, we're tracking a couple of those, DC, Chicago, New Orleans. So all those conventions that got canceled in COVID, they're all rebooked. Think of like that wedding season in like 2021, right?
And let me add, according to Nolan, we're pretty much back now at 2019 levels.
No, I think, and a lot of those, the calendar is looking like at 100, 110, 120% of pace from pre-COVID. So those are all urban markets driven heavily by conventions. So I think that's kind of a cool spot right now. The challenge with those deals, they're just big freaking checks. And the debt is expensive.
Right.
But like my view is, I'm going to quote a buddy of mine, Ryan Lindgren. You marry your basis, you date your debt, right? Like, you get a great basis now, and then you can refinance in a couple years.
Right.
And hopefully with that convention calendar coming back, it looks good.
Yeah.
Looks like a good play.
Yeah, I love it. Really interesting philosophy like that. I like what you're talking about, though, because the first person that mentioned this is, sure, you could do a deal now, and if you're a little bit worried about it, just refinance that debt in a couple of years if you feel that interest rates are going to start to moderate and go back down, which theoretically we might now that inflation is starting to cool a little bit. Right?
Maybe. I mean, the other side of that is if interest rates go down, does that mean the economy is kind of like going the other way that we don't want it to go? So I think deals are starting to get done where, like I'm hearing unlevered returns at levels that we haven't heard in a long time. Like they're up 300-400 basis points. So I think people are underwriting those expecting the debt to stay where it is, but if it gets better, it's their win, right? They're taking the risk now, right? So I think that's kind of how equity's looking at the world. Pretty conservative, but it also feels like sellers are starting to get there, and so that's encouraging. I don't know, other things to talk about coming out of the space?
No, I think that's good for today, because we know you guys out there have short attention spans. But we'll get him back on for maybe a long episode of No Vacancy Live. Anyway, for Evan Hurd, myself, Glenn Hausman, thanks for being here. Make sure you check out my friends at ZEL Capital Partners, ZELCapitalPartners.com. Sale-leaseback, guys. See you later.